I dropped my husband off at the airport that Thursday night, thinking it was just another simple business trip. The bright lights inside Hartsfield-Jackson made my eyes hurt, and I felt that deep kind of tired that sits inside your bones. Darren stood beside me, dressed neatly in his gray suit, holding his briefcase like he always did when he wanted to look put together. To anyone watching, we looked like a normal, successful family. Liam, my 6-year-old son, held my hand tightly. He was usually quiet and observant, but that night something was different. His hand was sweaty, and he kept glancing up at his dad like he was afraid of something. I noticed it, but I didn't know what to make of it at the time. "This Chicago meeting is important," Darren said, giving me one of his practiced smiles. 3 days, and I'll be back. Hold things down here, okay? I nodded because that was what I always did. He then crouched down in front of Liam, placing both hands on his shoulders. "Take care of your mom, buddy." "All right." Liam didn't respond. He only nodded slowly, staring at his father with a look I should have paid more attention to. Darren kissed Liam's forehead, then mine, and walked toward the TSA checkpoint. We watched him disappear into the crowd. When he was gone, I took a breath and squeezed Liam's hand gently. "Come on, sweetheart. Let's go home." We started walking toward the exit, our footsteps echoing on the airport floor. Liam stayed quiet the whole time. I could feel his tension through his hand. When we reached the automatic doors, he suddenly stopped, so abruptly that I almost tripped. "Liam, what's wrong?" He looked up at me with wide, frightened eyes. "Mama, we can't go home." I blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" "It's late. You need to sleep." He shook his head hard. His breathing turned shaky. "No, please, Mama. This morning I heard Daddy talking in his office. He said something bad was going to happen to us tonight. He said he needed to be far away when it happened." My stomach tightened. "Liam, are you sure about what you heard?" He nodded again, tears forming. "He said people were coming. He said we wouldn't be a problem anymore." His voice sounded different, scary. I wanted to tell him he misunderstood, but something inside me shifted. The fear in his eyes was too real, too sincere. "Okay," I said quietly. "I believe you." And because of that one decision, to listen to him, we ended up seeing something that changed everything we thought we knew about our lives. I led Liam through the parking deck and got him into our SUV. My hands were shaking so much that it took me a few tries to get the key into the ignition. I kept telling myself to calm down, but the fear in Liam's voice had settled into my chest. I didn't drive toward the house. Instead, I took a route behind our neighborhood, choosing a street where we could see our home without being seen ourselves. When I finally parked behind 2 large trees, I turned off the engine and headlights. We sat in the dark, watching our house from a distance. Everything looked normal: our lawn, the porch, the windows glowing faintly from outdoor lights. It was quiet, almost peaceful, and for a second I wondered if I had overreacted. "Maybe we should just go inside," I whispered, though I didn't believe it. Liam stayed stiff in his seat, staring straight ahead. "Mama, wait." Minutes passed. I kept checking the clock, the mirrors, the street. My thoughts ran in circles. Was Liam confused? Was this all a misunderstanding? But then I remembered the small signs, phone calls Darren took behind closed doors, documents he kept hidden, changes in his mood, things I ignored. Suddenly Liam pointed. "Mama, look." A dark van turned onto our street. It moved slowly, too slowly for normal traffic. It stopped right in front of our house. 2 men got out. They weren't dressed like delivery workers or neighbors. They wore dark clothes, hoodies pulled low, and moved with purpose. I felt my throat tighten. The taller one reached into his pocket. I expected a tool, something to break in, but what he pulled out made my entire body go cold. A key. He unlocked our front door with ease. Only 3 keys existed: mine, Darren, and the spare kept in his locked office drawer. My mouth went dry. Liam whispered, "How do they have that?" I couldn't answer. The two men entered the house, using flashlights, not switching on any lights. They walked around like they knew the layout. I didn't realize how long I sat frozen until I caught a faint smell, chemical, and growing stronger. Liam covered his nose. "What is that?" Then we saw it. Thin smoke rising from the living room window. Then another small plume from the kitchen. Within minutes, an orange glow spread inside the house. Fire. My home was burning. If Liam and I had gone inside like I planned, we would have been in there. But what happened next after the flames? After the van sped away showed me just how far Darren had gone to make sure we never survived. The fire spread faster than I could process. One moment it was thin smoke drifting upward, and the next it was a full blaze swallowing the living room windows. Flames pushed through the glass, climbing along the walls like they had been waiting for the right moment. Liam clutched my arm, his breathing shaky. "We can't go there, Mama," he whispered. He was right. As much as my instincts pushed me toward the house, toward the photos, the memories, everything we owned, I knew stepping inside meant we wouldn't walk out again. Just then, the sound of sirens echoed in the distance. Someone in the neighborhood must have noticed the fire and called it in. Before the fire trucks even turned onto our street, the dark van sped off, with its headlights off, disappearing quickly around the corner. My legs felt weak. I got out of the SUV and fell to my knees on the pavement. Liam wrapped his arms around me from behind, pressing his face into my back. "We would have been in there," I said quietly, barely aware I said it out loud. My phone buzzed. I pulled it from my pocket, wiping tears from my face with my sleeve. A new message from Darren appeared on the screen. "Just landed. Hope you and Liam are asleep. Love you." I stared at the words, reading them over and over. The timing was too perfect, too precise. He was in another state, building his alibi, while our home was burning with hired strangers inside it. The message made everything clear. He knew. He expected us to be dead already. I felt sick and leaned forward until I vomited onto the curb. Liam rubbed my back with his small hand. "It's okay, Mama," he whispered. "I'm right here." After a few minutes, I managed to breathe normally again. I held him close, realizing he had saved both our lives. But the question hung heavy in my mind. What were we supposed to do now? We had no home. We had no belongings. And if we told the police, Darren had a perfect story-ready business trip. House fire, grieving husband. It would be our word against his. Then I remembered something my father gave me before he died, an old business card. A woman's name. Someone he trusted. He didn't explain much, only that I should call her if I ever felt unsafe. And now, I finally understood why he insisted on giving it to me. I grabbed my phone, scrolling through contacts until I found her number. Attorney Zaper. I dialed it with trembling hands. Because what she told me next and what she already knew about Darren was something I never expected. The call connected after a few rings. A calm, slightly tired voice answered. Attorney Zaper speaking. I took a shaky breath. "My name is I. You don't know me, but my father was Langston Vance. He gave me your number before he passed. My house just burned down. My husband, I think he planned it." There was a long pause on the other end. "Ira, your father told me you might need help someday. Are you somewhere safe?" "Yes," I said quietly, sitting in the dark with Liam asleep beside me. "I have my car. That's all. Come to my office," she said firmly. Right now, her office was in a small brick building on the edge of the city, oozing from the outside. When she opened the door, she immediately ushered us inside and locked it behind us. Liam barely kept his eyes open as I carried him to a couch. "Sit," she told me. "Tell me everything. Every detail." I explained everything from Darren's trip to Liam's warning to the fire. She didn't interrupt once. When I finished, she stood up, unlocked an old metal cabinet, and took out a thick folder. Your father suspected this years ago, she said. He hired me to look into Darren quietly. He didn't trust him. Those words hit hard. She handed me the folder. Inside were documents I'd never seen, records of gambling debts, risky deals, late-night withdrawals, and a massive life insurance policy with my name on it. Darren had been sinking financially for years, covering losses with money he quietly took from accounts he insisted on managing. I closed the folder slowly. So he wanted the insurance money, I said, almost numb. That's exactly what he wanted, she replied. And a fire would have made it look accidental. I looked over at my sleeping son. It was hard to even imagine the level of betrayal. Attorney Aper leaned forward. You need evidence. Real evidence. And Darren keeps everything. He's meticulous. If he hired those men, he'll have left something behind. The thought of going back to the burned house made my stomach twist. You're suggesting we go inside? Not now, she said, but soon. Tonight or tomorrow, after police leave. If he kept documents, phones, or records, we need them. I held my hands together to keep them from shaking. And if we find it? Then what? Then we take it to someone who can't be bought, she said. And we let the truth take him down. I looked at Liam, then at her. I'll do whatever I have to, I said quietly, because I had no idea that breaking into my own burned house would lead us straight into the most dangerous part of this story. If this story touched your heart, tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story so more people remember. No matter how old you are, it's never too late to stand up for yourself.